OCO, everyone. Everyone, we're gonna today. So we finished up the Islamic Republic of the Afghanistan's constitution. So today we're gonna start on a new constitution. This is the Constitution of the People's Republic of China. This is the full text after amendment on March 14th, 2004. So first we're gonna read the preamble. This is gonna be part one of the Constitution, and we're gonna read the preamble. And yeah, there will be multiple parts. There are 3 parts to the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan's constitution. We'll see how many we can get done with this, how many parts we can get this in. Okay, so preamble. So full text after amendment on March 14th, 2004. Preamble. China is a country with one of the longest histories in the world. The people of all China's nationalities have jointly created a culture of grandeur and have a glorious revolutionary tradition. After 1840, feudal China was gradually turned into a semi-colonial and semi-feudal country. The Chinese people waged many successive heroic struggles for national independence and liberation, and for democracy and freedom. Great and earth-shaking historical changes have taken place in China in the 20th century. The Revolution of 1911, led by Dr. Sun Yat-sen, abolished the feudal monarchy and gave birth to the Republic of China. But the historic mission of the Chinese people to overthrow imperialism and feudalism remained unaccomplished. After waging protracted and arduous struggles, armed and otherwise along a zigzag course, the Chinese people of all nationalities, led by the Communist Party of China, with Chairman Mao Zedong as its leader, ultimately, in 1949, overthrew the rule of imperialism, feudalism, and bureaucrat capitalism, won a great victory in the new democratic revolution, and founded the People's Republic of China. Since then, the Chinese people have taken control of state power and become masters of the country. After the founding of the People's Republic, China gradually achieved its transition from a new democratic to a socialist society. The socialist transformation of the private ownership of the means of production has been completed, the system of exploitation of man by man abolished, and the socialist system established. The People's Democratic Dictatorship, led by the working class and based on the alliance of workers and peasants, which is, in the essence, the dictatorship of the proletariat, has been consolidated and developed. The Chinese people and the Chinese People's Liberation Army have defeated imperialist and hegemonious aggression, sabotage, and armed provocations, and have thereby safeguarded China's national independence and security and strengthened its national defense. Major successes have been achieved in economic development. An independent and relatively comprehensive socialist system of industry has basically been established. There has been a marked increase in agricultural production. Significant advances have been made in educational, scientific, and cultural undertakings. While education and socialist ideology has produced noteworthy results, the life of the people have improved considerably. The victory in China's new democratic revolution and the successes in its socialist cause have been achieved by the Chinese people of all nationalities under the leadership of Communist Party of China. Let's see, does it say that again? Okay. Sorry. It seems similar to the earlier paragraph. Sorry about that. Maybe it was for the point of repeating it. Under the leadership of the Communist Party of China and the guidance of Marxism-Leninism and Mao Zedong thought, by upholding truth, correcting errors, and surmounting numerous difficulties and hardships, China will be in the primary stage of socialism for a long time to come. The basic task of the nation is to concentrate its effort on socialist modernization along the road of Chinese-style socialism, under the leadership of Communist Party of China and the guidance of Marxism-Leninism. Mao Zedong thought, Deng Xiaoping theory, and the important thought of 3 represents the Chinese people of all nationalities, will continue to adhere to the People's Democratic Dictatorship and the socialist road, persevere in reform and opening to the outside world, steadily improve socialist institutions, develop the socialist market economy, develop socialist democracy, improve the socialist legal system, and work hard and self-reliantly to modernize the country's industry, agricultural, national defense, and science and technology step by step, and promote the coordinated development of the material, political, and spiritual civilizations to turn China into a socialist country that is prosperous, powerful, democratic, and culturally advanced. The exploiting classes as such have been abolished in our country. However, class struggle will continue to exist within certain bounds for a long time to come. The Chinese people must fight against those forces and elements, both at home and abroad, that are hostile to China's socialist system and try to undermine it. Taiwan is part of the sacred territory of the People's Republic of China. It is inviolable duty of all Chinese people, including our compatriots in Taiwan, to accomplish the great task of reunifying the motherland. In building socialism, it is essential to rely on workers, peasants, and intellectuals, and to unite all forces that can be united in the long years of revolution and construction. There has been formed under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, a broad patriotic united front, which is composed of the democratic parties and people's organizations, and which embraces all socialist working people, all builders of socialism, all patriots who support socialism, and all patriots who stand for the reunification of the motherland. This united front will continue to be consolidated and developed. The Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, a broadly based representative organization of the United Front, which has played a significant historical role, will play a still more important role in the country's political and social life, in promoting friendship with other countries, and in the struggle for socialist modernization and for the reunification and unity of the country. The system of the multi-party cooperation and political consultation led by the Communist Party of China will exist and develop for a long time to come. The People's Republic of China is a unitary multinational state created jointly by the people of all its nationalities. Socialist relations of equality, unity, and mutual assistance have been established among the nationalities and will continue to be strengthened. In the struggle to safeguard the unity of the nationalities, it is necessary to combat big nation chauvinism, mainly Han chauvinism, and to combat local national chauvinism. The state will do its utmost to promote the common prosperity of all the nationalities. China's achievements in revolution and construction are inseparable from the support of the people of the world. The future of China is closely linked to the future of the world. China consistently carries out an independent foreign policy and adheres to the 5 principles of mutual respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, mutual non-aggression, non-interference in each other's internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence in developing diplomatic relations and economic and cultural exchanges with other countries. China consistently opposes imperialism, hegemonianism, and colonialism, works to strengthen unity with the people of other countries, supports the oppressed nations and the developing countries in their just struggle to win and preserve national independence and develop their national economies, and strives to safeguard world peace and promote the cause of human progress. This constitution, in legal form, affirms the achievements of the struggles of the Chinese people of all nationalities and defines the basic system and basic task of the state. It is the fundamental law of the state and has supreme legal authority. The people of all nationalities, all state organs, the armed forces, all political parties, and public organizations, and all enterprises and institutions in the country must take the Constitution as the basic standard of conduct, and they have the duty to uphold the dignity of the Constitution and ensure its implementation. Okay, this is Chapter 1, General Principles of the Constitution of the People's Republic of China. Full text after amendment on March 14, 2004. Article 1. The People's Republic of China is a socialist state under the People's Democratic Dictatorship, led by the working class and based on the alliance of workers and peasants. The socialist system is the basic system of the People's Republic of China. Disruption of the socialist system by any organization or individual is prohibited. Article 2. All power in the People's Republic of China belongs to the people. The National People's Congress and the local People's Congresses at various levels are the organs through which the peoples exercise state power. The people administer state affairs and manage economic and cultural undertakings and social affairs through various channels and in various ways in accordance with the provisions of law. Article 3. The state organs of the People's Republic of China apply the principle of democratic centralism. The National People's Congress and the local People's Congresses at various levels are constituted through democratic elections. They are responsible to the people and subject to their supervision. All administrative, judicial, and procuratorial organs of the state are created by the people's congresses, to which they are responsible and which they are supervised. The division of functions and powers between the central and local state organs is guided by the principle of giving full scope to the initiative and enthusiasm of the local authorities under the unified leadership of the central authorities. Article 4. All nationalities in the People's Republic of China are equal. The state protects the lawful rights and interests of the minority nationalities and upholds and develops a relationship of equality, unity, and mutual assistance among all of China's nationalities. Discrimination against and oppression of any nationality are prohibited. Any act which undermines the unity of the nationalities or instigates division is prohibited. The state assists areas inhabited by minority nationalities in accelerating their economic and cultural development according to the characteristics and needs of the various minority nationalities. Regional autonomy is practiced in areas where people of minority nationalities live in concentrated communities. In these areas, organs of self-government are established to exercise the power of autonomy. All national autonomous areas are integral parts of the People's Republic of China. All nationalities have the freedom to use and develop their own spoken and written languages and to preserve or reform their own folkways and customs. Article 5. The People's Republic of China governs the country according to law and makes it a socialist country under the rule of law. The state upholds the uniformity and dignity of the socialist legal system. No laws or administrative or local regulations may contravene the Constitution. All state organs, the armed forces, all political parties, and public organizations, and all enterprises and institutions must abide by the Constitution and other laws. All acts in violation of the Constitution or other laws must be investigated. No organization or individual is privileged to be beyond the Constitution or other laws. Article 6. The basis of the socialist economic system of the People's Republic of China is a socialist public ownership of the means of production, namely, ownership by the whole people and collective ownership by the working people. The system of socialist public ownership supersedes the system of exploitation of man by man. It applies the principle of from each according to his own ability to each according to his work. In the primary stage of socialism, the state upholds the basic economic system in which the public ownership is dominant and diverse forms of ownership develop side by side and keeps to the distribution systems in which distribution, according to work, is dominant and diverse modes of distribution coexist. Article 7. The state-owned economy, namely the socialist economy under ownership by the whole people, is the leading force in the national economy. The state ensures the consolidation and growth of the state-owned economy. Article 8. The rural collective economic organizations apply to the dual operation system characterized by the combination of centralized operation with decentralized operation on the basis of operation by households under a contract. In rural areas, all forms of cooperative economy, such as producers, supply and marketing, credit and consumer cooperatives, belong to the sector of socialist economy under collective ownership by the working people. Working people who are members of rural economic collectives have the right, within the limits prescribed by law, to farm plots of cropland and hilly land allotted for their private use, engage in household sideline production, and raise privately owned livestock. The various forms of cooperative economy in cities and towns, such as those in the handicraft, industrial building, transport, commercial, and service trades, all belong to the sector of socialist economy under collective ownership by the working people. The state protects the lawful rights and interests of the urban and rural economic collectives and encourages, guides, and helps the growth of the collective economy. Article 9. All mineral resources, waters, forests, mountains, grasslands, unreclaimed land, beaches, and other natural resources are owned by the state. That is, by the whole people, with the exception of the forests, mountains, grasslands, unreclaimed land, and beaches that are owned by collectives as prescribed by law. The state ensures the rational use of natural resources and protects rare animals and plants. Appropriation or damaging of natural resources by any organization or individual by whatever means is prohibited. Article 10. Land in the cities is owned by the state. Land in the rural and suburban areas is owned by collectives except for those portions which belong to the state as prescribed by law. House sites and privately farmed plots of cropland and hilly land are also owned by collectives. The state may, in public interest and in accordance with law, expropriate or requisition land for its use and make compensation for the land expropriated or requisitioned. No organization or individual may appropriate, buy, sell, or otherwise engage in the transfer of land by unlawful means. The right to the use of land may be transferred according to law. All organizations and individuals using land must ensure its rational use. Article 7. The non-public sectors of the economy, as the individual and private sectors of the economy, operating within the limits prescribed by law, constitute an important component of the socialist market economy. The state protects the lawful rights and interests of the non-public sectors of the economy, such as the individual and private sectors of the economy. The state encourages, supports, and guides the development of the non-public sectors of the economy and, in accordance with law, exercises supervision and control over the non-public sectors of the economy. Article 12. Socialist public property is inviolable. The state protects socialist public property. Appropriation or damaging of state or collective property by any organization or individual, by whatever means, is prohibited. Article 13, citizens' lawful private property is inviolable. The state, in accordance with law, protects the rights of citizens to private property and to its inheritance. The state may, in public interest and in accordance with law, expropriate or requisition private property for its use and make compensation for the private property expropriated or requisitioned. Article 14. The state continuously raises labor productivity, improves economic results, and develops the productive forces by enhancing the enthusiasm of the working people, raising the level of their technical skill, disseminating advanced science and technology, improving the systems of economic administration and enterprise operation and management, instituting the socialist system of responsibility in various forms, and improving the organization of work. The state practices strict economy and combats waste. The state properly apportions accumulation and consumption, concerns itself with the interests of the collective and the individual, as well as of the state and of the basis of expanded production, gradually improves the material and cultural life of the people. The state establishes a sound social security system compatible with the level of economic development. Article 15. The state practices socialist market economy. The state strengthens economic legislation, improves macro regulation and control. The state prohibits, in accordance with law, any organization or individual from disturbing the socio-economic order. Article 16. State-owned enterprises have decision-making power with regard to their operation within the limits prescribed by law. State-owned enterprises practice democratic management through congresses of workers and staff and in other ways in accordance with law. Article 17. The collective economic organizations have decision-making power in conducting independent economic activities, on condition that they abide by the relevant laws. Collective economic organizations practice democratic management and, in accordance with law, elect or remove their managerial personnel and decide on major issues concerning operation and management. Article 18. The People's Republic of China permits foreign enterprises or other foreign economic organizations and individual foreigners to invest in China and to enter into various forms of economic cooperation with Chinese enterprises and other Chinese economic organizations in accordance with the provisions of the law of the People's Republic of China. All foreign enterprises, other foreign economic organizations, as well as Chinese foreign joint ventures within Chinese territory shall abide by the laws of the People's Republic of China. Their lawful rights and interests are protected by the laws of the People's Republic of China. Article 19. The state undertakes the development of socialist education and works to raise the scientific and cultural level of the whole nation. The state establishes and administers schools of various types, universalizes compulsory primary education, and promotes secondary, vocational, and higher education as well as preschool education. The state develops educational facilities in order to eliminate illiteracy and provide political, scientific, technical, and professional education for workers, peasants, state functionaries, and other working people. It encourages people to become educated through independent study. The state encourages the collective economic organizations, state enterprises and institutions, and other sectors of society to establish educational institutions of various types in accordance with law. The state promotes the nationwide use of I'm probably going to mispronounce this, Pudonghua, common speech based on Beijing pronunciation. Article 20. The state promotes the development of the natural and social sciences. This disseminates knowledge of science and technology and commends and rewards achievements in scientific research as well as technological innovations and inventions. Article 21. The state develops medical and health services, promotes modern medicine and traditional Chinese medicine, encourages and supports the setting up of various medical and health facilities by the rural economic collectives, state enterprises and institutions, and neighborhood organizations, and promotes health and sanitation activities of a mass character, all for the protection of the people's health. The state develops physical culture and promotes mass sports activities to improve the people's physical fitness. Article 22. The state promotes the development of art and literature, the press, radio, television, broadcasting, publishing and distribution services, libraries, museums, cultural centers, and other cultural undertakings that serve the people in socialism, and it sponsors mass cultural activities. The state protects sites of scenic and historical interest, valuable cultural moments and relics and other significant items of China's historical and cultural heritage. Article 23. The state trains specialized personnel in all fields who serve socialism, expands the ranks of intellectuals, and creates conditions to give full scope to their role in socialist modernization. Article 24. The state strengthens the building of a socialist society with an advanced culture and ideology by promoting education in high ideals, ethics, general knowledge, discipline, and the legal system, and by promoting the formulation and observance of rules of conduct and common pledges by various sections of the people in urban and rural areas. The state advocates the civic virtues of love of the motherland, of the people, of labor, of science, and of socialism. It conducts education among the people in patriotism and collectivism, in internationalism and communism, and in dialectical and historical materialism to combat capitalist, feudal, and other decadent ideas. Article 25. The state promotes family planning so that population growth may fit the plans for economic and social development. Article 26. The state protects and improves the environment in which people live and the ecological environment. It prevents and controls pollution and other public hazards. The state organizes and encourages afforestation and the protection of forests. Article 27. All state organs carry out the principle of simple and efficient administration, the system of responsibility for work, and the system of training functionaries and appraising their performance in order constantly to improve the quality of work and efficiency and combat bureaucratism. All state organs and functionaries must rely on the support of the people, keep in close touch with them, heed their opinions and suggestions, accept their supervision, and do their best to serve them. Article 28. The state maintains public order and suppresses treasonable and other criminal activities that endanger state security. It penalizes criminal activities that endanger public security and disrupt the socialist economy as well as other criminal activities, and it punishes and reforms criminals. Article 29. The armed forces of the People's Republic of China belong to the people. Their tasks are to strengthen national defense, resist aggression, defend the motherland, safeguard the people's peaceful labor, participate in national reconstruction, and do their best to serve the people. The state strengthens the revolutionization, modernization, and regularization of the armed forces in order to increase national defense capability. Article 30. The administrative division of the People's Republic of China is as follows. The country is divided into provinces. 1. The country is divided into provinces, autonomous regions, and municipalities directed under the central government. 2. Provinces and autonomous regions are divided into autonomous prefectures, counties, autonomous counties, and cities. And 3. Counties and autonomous counties are divided into townships, nationality townships, and towns. Municipalities directed under the central government and other large cities are divided into districts and counties. Autonomous prefectures are divided into counties, autonomous counties, and cities. All autonomous regions, autonomous prefectures, and autonomous counties are national autonomous areas. Article 31. The state may establish special administrative regions when necessary. The systems to be instituted in special administrative regions shall be prescribed by law, enacted by the National People's Congress in the light of specific conditions. Article 32. The People's Republic of China protects the lawful rights and interests of foreigners within Chinese territory. Foreigners on Chinese territory must abide by the laws of the People's Republic of China. The People's Republic of China may grant asylum to foreigners who request it for political reasons.